Hello everybody. Today we're going to see Unit 8. Of course, this unit is about another social problems. We've already talked about a lot of social problems. Brain drain is one of the social problems maybe some of you mentioned last time. Let's define brain drain. What does brain drain mean? Of course, brain drain means the departure of skilled and talented people to work in another country abroad. Which means that they seek work, they seek jobs somewhere else rather than staying at home, rather than staying in their own country. Of course, these skilled people go abroad or travel, immigrate abroad for many causes. We are going to see what are these causes. Before going to the causes, I would like to mention when this brain drain happened for the first time. As you can see here, I mentioned it on the board, it was in the 50s, in the 1950s, when many British scientists and intellectuals immigrated to the United States of America. Of course, they immigrate there to look for better conditions, good salaries, let's say higher salaries, which means higher salaries than the ones they get or they got in the United Kingdom. So, what are the causes of these immigrations? Let's say immigrations. We're going to come to these causes here. Well, as I've just said, as I asked, what are the causes of brain drain? Here, I've mentioned some of the causes. Of course, we've just said that one of the causes is that these talented and skilled people look for good salaries. Because in their own country, they get either bad salaries or, let's say, lower salaries. That's why they immigrate somewhere else. Another cause, they look for better paying jobs elsewhere, which means the same, which means better paying than what they get in their countries. They seek better environment, which means an environment which is better than the one they live in. They see that going to the West is better than staying, for example, in Morocco. Going to the United States of America, for them, is better than staying in Algeria. Going to Germany is better than staying in Libya or somewhere else. This is they also immigrate to improve their living and working conditions. That's to say, this is both the pay and living conditions. When we talk about the conditions, we mean the situations where they live, the circumstances where they live, and so on. We're talking about conditions in the whole. Why? They think that both salaries and living conditions are better in the country where they go to. This reminds me of an English proverb which says, "The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence." What does that mean? Let me say it again. The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence, which means the things other people have in their social situations always look better than our own, which means that we are never, let's say, when I say we, let's say they, I mean the skilled people and the talented people that immigrate. They think that the situation abroad, the situation in the country they go to will certainly, according to them of course, will certainly be better than their situations nowadays in their own country. That's why they immigrate somewhere else. By the way, let's say that most of the people, I mean, I'm talking about African countries, Arab countries, they always immigrate to the West, I mean, Western countries. United States of America, France, Germany, and so on all the countries abroad. These are the countries that attracted skilled and talented people, I mean, which means that they see these countries better than their own country. Okay, so let's talk about advantages of brain drain. So, the advantages of brain drain are usually advantages of the individual himself, which means it is the individual himself that profits from his immigration to the other country. I mean, he profits from that more than his countries, more than anyone else, more than his society. Another advantage is that brain drain helps the individuals more than the society of his country. This is nearly what I've just talked about in the first advantage. When these skilled and talented people returned back to their own country, they come back with new experiences and new skills. Because when they go there, they have new skills, new experiences, they met new people, they met more experienced people, and so on. This is how they acquire, if I may say so, they acquire new skills, new experiences, and come back with them to their country and to their society. But I'm afraid here it's a bit late. Let me say it's late, because most of the time when they come back, they are old. They return only when they get retired, which means most of the time they just return and stay home. They no longer work. Their country, their society no longer benefits from them. Great. Let me say the last one is that perhaps the skilled people of the native country will find jobs in their own nations. I mean, when X immigrates to another country, this means that this is an opportunity for Y or so on, for another one, let's say for another one, to find a job himself, rather than looking for the job. Okay, so after having talked about advantages, let's now talk about disadvantages. I mean, disadvantages of brain drain. The first one that struck in my mind is that brain drain is a loss of talented and skilled individuals. It's a loss. It seems as if the country loses his intellectuals. He no longer has them. They went away. So, the nation loses its intellectuals. When you lose something, it's hard and difficult to find it. This is what I mean. So, therefore, there is a question. Who can replace their position? I mean, we have got experienced people, talented people, skilled people, but later they leave the country and go somewhere else. Who can replace them? Who can replace their positions? Of course, the country will suffer from this loss. You know, it's a suffering thing, a suffering situation. The country loses its resources. It's a kind of resources that the country loses. When no experienced, no engineers, no doctors no longer stay in the country, they go somewhere else, they go to other countries. It is certainly a loss of resources, not resource. Okay. Another thing is that the foreign countries where these experienced people go to, themselves, they benefit from these skilled people. It's these countries who benefit from them, not their own countries. When Moroccan skilled people go, for example, to France, who benefits from them? France or Morocco? Of course, France benefits from them. Those who replace them cannot replace their talent, because the ones who have gone where they have good and perfect experiences, whereas the new ones, even if they are engineers, they are doctors, but the ones who left the country are really experienced. So the new ones can never, let me say, can never replace their talent. So therefore, this is a loss of, let me call it, this is a loss of valuable human resource. I say valuable, something valuable, you know what it means. They become assets to the countries they go to, not to their own country. Thank you.